Welcome to the Samuel Ranshaw House. This house was constructed in 1910. Was constructed by Samuel Ranshaw and his wife, Emma, who were the wealthiest farmers in Johnson County at the time. And this was the piece de resistance of the community. It was the esteemed farm. But Samuel did manage to keep it a little bit austere, at least. It had hot and cold running water. It had boiler heat. It had electricity. It had hard and soft water, which were all very state-of-the-art, state-of-the-times, high technology kind of things. It was white. It wasn't Queen Anne. It didn't have all of the extravagant extras. No curlicues or ornate wood. Few pieces of ornate, but nothing over the top. House has had many purposes through the years. It was passed through the family. The Ranshaws owned it for many years. And when Samuel decided to retire and move into Iowa City, it was sold to another family. Margaret Morgan remembers growing up in this house as a child, having tea under the tree and playing on the grounds, can tell stories about sleigh rides on the front yard, and just has amazing memories. It passed from Margaret to several other owners. It was a daycare for many years, and Kinderworld was here. The city purchased it in 2004 with the intention of demolishing the house and using the grounds for parking, additional parking for the community center. When we have prime time and major hot days for the swimming pool, parking is at a prime, and this was perceived as being a great location to do that. We got into the house, several staff people went in and couldn't believe the integrity of the house. All of the woodwork is intact, the original staircase, the floors, all of the interior is pretty much as it was built by Samuel Ranshaw back in the early 1900s. The city then had a rethinking at that point and decided maybe we shouldn't just demo it. And for the next 5 to 6 years, council and staff really debated on how this building should be used, if it should be kept, how it should be utilized, and all of that. Since then, we have applied for Great Places money and have received Great Places grants twice. The first was to redo the roof, which was in really poor shape. We had major leaks and lots of issues with the roof. And now this year we have Great Places money to do the exterior. So we're doing windows, the paint on the siding, doing siding repairs, porch repairs, insulation, anything that you can see from the exterior. We're going to button it up and it's going to look like she did in her prime. We also have applied for grant money to put it on the National Historic Register. It has gone through the first 2 levels of approvals, which are the local at the county level. We had a county commission meeting on the Historic Preservation Commission, and they voted to approve it. It went on to the state level, where it was approved with no comments or questions, and is now headed to Washington, D.C. to the National Park Service level for their approval. We hope by August we should know whether or not it's listed on the National Historic Registry. Once it's listed on the Historic Registry, that then opens another pool of grant funds that we can utilize for additional renovations to the house. Phase 3 is the interior, going in and pulling up all of the carpets, restoring walls that have been removed, restoring the floors, and just doing the interior finish work, heating, HVAC system, potentially putting in a geothermal system with loops out here in the front yard. We've had interested groups that would like to have the opportunity to rent space here, office space. We've talked about using it for meeting space, for being able to have small groups of people. I think the front porch and the front yard would be an ideal space for doing some local small events. I think, like, a tea party on the lawn kind of would be fun. Would be kind of a neat addition. The Centennial Committee is hoping to have some direct use with the Ranshaw House in the year's worth of our centennial events. Being able to coordinate, this house would have been pretty timely to the city being incorporated. So being able to tie those two together would be really kind of cool. The bedrooms on the second level I can see being rented office space, being somewhere that a person or a social service group would land. The first level I can see being meeting space. I could see it being, it's small of course, and It's not going to be wedding reception size, but having perhaps a baby shower, bridal shower, 20 to 30 people on the main level would be appropriate. We're installing a small kitchenette kind of feature and doing 2 bathrooms, male and female, on both levels, so that makes it truly usable for that angle. Depends on where we are with it. We have a plan for a small parking lot between the back of the house and the community center that would provide parking for this building as well as potential overflow parking for the community center. The front yard, as of right now, there's no plans. It could be parking. It could be used for just open space. On the east side of the house, over in this really pretty area, which would have been original garden space for the property, there's been talks of doing a heritage garden or a patriot garden, a tribute to our veterans in the community in that part of the property. It just lends itself really to some cool opportunities with landscaping and that kind of thing.